All right, here we have a question from the specimen. We just look at question number three. It says, write a descriptive piece called the workplace. In your writing, focus on colors, sounds, and textures to help your reader imagine the scene, right? And the word count is 600 to 900. Probably, let me scroll up first. Yes, 600 to 900. Okay, okay, here we go. Now you got to underline the keywords like colors, sounds, textures to help the reader imagine the scene. You already know that when we write a descriptive essay, we got to look for the dominant impression. All right. So, dominant impression means that I can give a bad picture, a negative picture of my workplace. I can give a positive, a very bright picture of my workplace, right? Now, whatever I want to aim to do, right, of course, would actually shape my descriptive piece. So let's suppose if I want to give a negative picture, right? The colors I might choose, they might be dull. The colors I choose, right? The sounds may not be, uh, you know, soothing at all, right? Okay, they must be poetic and all that. All right. Textures, of course, would be rough or something like that. So it all depends on, uh, you know, the impression I've chosen, because this question gives us the liberty, right? Okay, to write, you know, either positively or negatively whatsoever. Okay, then we have, once we have decided on the dominant impression, the second step, now this is the first step, the second step is to think of an appropriate thesis statement. Now, you know what is a thesis statement? It gives the main idea of the essay, right? And of course, your main idea is based on the impression you want to give, right? Okay. Then the third step is to think about paragraph structure, okay, or think about the structure of your essay rather, right? Okay, so now let's suppose in your main thesis you have written about color, sounds, and texture, right? Okay, with a particular dominant impression, then you can decide to divide your paragraphs, right, in respect of colors, sounds, and texture. So this means you got to have one. This is going to be your introductory paragraph. And please don't forget to add a hook, you know, with the main idea in your thesis statement. Okay, then you're going to start off with probably one idea, for example, colors at your workplace, right? And you got to write one or two or three paragraphs. It depends because you have 600 to 900, right? Okay, word count. So it depends. So you may want to have two or three paragraphs about colors, then two, three paragraphs about sounds, then two, three paragraphs about texture, and finally you got to have a concluding paragraph. So this is how you got to structure your essay, basically. Now let's talk about structuring of your paragraphs. So for example, you're talking about colors, right? Okay, so maybe if you have like different ideas, related to colors at your workplace, right? So you may organize your paragraphs accordingly. Let's suppose if you have two ideas related to colors. The first one is perhaps you're talking about colors in the premises, right? Okay, okay. And another idea which you would like to talk about, probably, you know, in terms of what people wear, right? Okay, or use, or in terms of fixtures and furniture whatsoever, right? So of course you got to have another paragraph about that. So you can like structure your paragraphs accordingly. It depends how many ideas do you have. Please keep one idea in one paragraph, unless they are related. If they are related, then it's fine. Once you're done with this, right, then you got to come up with some paragraphs related to sounds, okay? And if you have different ideas about sounds, you can break, those ideas into different paragraphs. But remember that each paragraph should begin with a topic sentence, right? And then the supporting details, as we discussed in our previous class, right? Okay. Once this is done, finally, you got to have a concluding paragraphs. Now, this is something related to how you got to structure your descriptive essay. Now, let me clear all of this. But a good descriptive doesn't only have a good structure, it should also have variety of sentences, figures of speech, and it should have concreteness. That means you got to specify things, right? For example, if I write here, I, you know, saw a building, this doesn't paint the picture. Instead, if I write, I looked at tomb of Qaide Azam, right? Or I looked with some with yeah, I looked at tomb of Qaide Azam with excitement. Now this adds some more information about the building, right? So you have to make your sentences concrete. They are to be descriptive. You got to add, details. And the technique I talked about, triple A, should be at work all the time. And you know what is triple A: use of adjective, adverbs, and adjective clauses, right? This is very important. It's not that you have structured your essay, then it's okay, fine. No, you got to use all of these things if you really want to write a good descriptive essay. All right. So, and one more thing, regarding your examination preparation, that you attempt as many questions as possible and make word bank on different, different what you call themes or moods, For example, over here they want you to have some word bank about colors, sounds, and textures, right? So what you at the first place, what you're going to do, that you are going to think about what am I going to write on colors or sounds and textures. So there is one way of one way to collect ideas, that you just think of some colors, write a word bank for them, right? Okay, write your word bank here regarding colors. Then think about some sounds and make a word bank, and textures and make a word bank. Then you got to think about different patterns. For example, you can think about compare and contrast. Maybe you're contrasting it with someone, some other colors, okay? Or you can also think about another pattern, that is cause and effect. Maybe you want to classify them, right? This is how you got to brainstorm your essay, basically, right? Okay, same goes for sounds, textures. You got to include some patterns over here, right? Once you are done with this, you have the word bank about it, you know what patterns I'm going to use, you have ideas about it. Then you got to decide on the structure. Okay, and when you're writing, you got to make use of variety of sentences. You write, okay, you got to use, of course, adjectives, adverbs, and all that, as I have been discussing all of this, right, in previous classes. All right, so I hope you would be able to attempt it now. So let me end the recording.